At 10, as the city of Edinburg grows, so does concern for officials to keep up with services like drainage. Action 4's Annalise Ortiz explains what the city plans to do to prevent disasters like last month's floods.
Marcy, every year the city of Edinburg is annexing more and more land. Now, Faysville is one of the areas that was recently acquired by the city, and of course one of the areas that was the hardest hit during the recent floods. Now, the city of Edinburg says that they are working to fine-tune infrastructure in these areas that they've annexed.
This year, severe flooding has devastated parts of Hidalgo County, especially Edinburg.
It was a disaster. All their poles were hanging.
The city is growing, but can they keep up with the annexed land?
All the improvements that are needed in those areas. There's some areas that need more improvements than others, but we are going through that process right now.
City Manager Ramiro Garza says the city has 4 years from the time they acquire a piece of land to the point where all services must be provided. That sounds like a long time to some residents in areas like Faysville.
I'll be growing up already and we will move out here. Yeah.
But the city doesn't plan to take the entire 4 years. Garza says they've already gotten the ball rolling on providing and improving drainage services.
Those areas are included in a master drainage plan that we've identified, and we're looking to implement that drainage plan to help not only the city itself, but those areas that we annex.
He says the city of Edinburg can't prepare for flooding in rural areas until they actually own the land.
So we have to be able to bring them inside the city and include them in our plan so that we can make the improvements accordingly.
And while some residents congratulated the city for their dedicated response to the floods,
I thank them for, coming and taking action.
Garza says they simply provided short-term relief.
The long-term solution here, it's not so much how do we address, drainage improvements to a particular neighborhood, it's how do we get all the water that comes here, and flow it out to where it needs to go.
Now, next week, a drainage plan will be presented to the Edinburg City Council. Garza says it contains short-term and long-term solutions to this issue. We will give you an update on what happens at that meeting. Live in Edinburg, Annalise Ortiz, Action 4 News.
All right, Annalise, some new information out there. Thanks.